It's looking possible that some developers are going to leave Xbox behind as a non-viable platform simply because certain games from certain developers are just not selling on that system. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, think about subscribing, hit that like button. I want to talk about the rumor that Final Fantasy is going to skip Xbox. Square Enix is looking to make the PlayStation the home of Final Fantasy. Now, why would they do this? Some people will say, well, they're leaving money on the table. Why would they cut out another console? It's easy money. So the rumor is they're looking to make Final Fantasy exclusive on consoles, the PlayStation, and also put it on PC. Now, 70%, the latest figure, 70% of all of their sales for Final Fantasy are on the PlayStation. And you might say to yourself, well, that leaves 30%. Why would they leave 30% on the table? That's not how it works. You have to spend money to make money. So Square Enix is the supplier of that good. They're spending money to create a good for a service, the PlayStation or the Xbox. So let's say out of their total budget, they're spending 50% to get that good to that service, the PlayStation. Now, if they're getting a 70% return, they're getting 20% back, which is a fantastic return. They're only spending 50%, 70% on PlayStation. So you might say, where's that other 30%? Well, how much is Square Enix spending to get Final Fantasy to Xbox? They may be spending more than 30% of their budget to get that game to the Xbox. And there's also the cost that Xbox has to spend to get that game to their system. It's not just money left on the table and Microsoft just walks in and says, hey, there's 30% there, can we have it? It doesn't work that way. So there's a real problem, especially when you look at another big game like Capcom's Resident Evil. The latest Resident Evil, 84% of total sales on consoles. And of course, I'm talking about physical. But digital does not make up for a huge gulf in physical. You also have to add in digital sales. So 84% of physical sales for Resident Evil on PlayStation, without even thinking about the digital sales. That's an 84% clip on one platform. What is going on? Well, here's my opinion. So I think Microsoft is cultivating an audience that refuses to buy games anymore. It's not just about subscribing to a service and counting the number of games that are in it. You can't play Game Pass. Game Pass isn't a video game. It's a service. There are also third parties who are making games, and they should not feel like in order to reach you, if you're a subscriber to Game Pass, that they have to be forced to put their game in that service. You still have to buy really good games. It's okay to spend $60 on a game when a developer puts their heart and soul into it and spends $300 million to make it this big experience. If it isn't for you, skip it. But don't pretend that it doesn't have value unless it's in a subscription service that's $1 a month or $15 a month. And I think Microsoft needs to be careful here because they're sending a signal, especially to Square Enix, and I think Capcom's going to be next, that nobody on this platform is going to purchase any game unless it's in Game Pass. That might be great for Microsoft, but there are other people in the industry. There are other developers who are making games, and they should not feel like they have to put their games in one particular platform holder's service in order to reach an audience. I think that's a mistake, and I think we're starting to see that, and I think that's the reason that this rumor about Final Fantasy, and I think it is going to be true, is going to happen. Now, you can pivot to, well, Sony's just paying them to keep it off Xbox, but that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. There's more to it than that. That's a fanboy way of looking at it. If you want to pivot, if you want to pull those blankets up over your head, curl up with your Xbox and just believe that, go ahead. But I'm telling you, people need to start buying video games. Okay, you can subscribe, you can enjoy things, but there's a reason why people are going back to the movies. There's a reason why Spider-Man is only in theaters. It's not on HBO Max or Showtime or any other streaming service. Eventually it'll be there. But there's a reason that they make these big movies. They spend a lot of money and they want that big release and they want those people going to those theaters. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to wait, that's fine. But the theater isn't losing customers because there are other customers waiting at home. But these third parties are starting to lose sales on platforms. There's a rumor going around that Square Enix has actually said that Xbox is a non-viable platform for them. And it didn't used to be that way. So I think it's a double-edged sword with this Game Pass subscription service. I really think people need to start buying their video games again. Yes, you can subscribe and play games and have fun with it, but the idea that Capcom, Resident Evil can't sell on Xbox, or Final Fantasy in the past hasn't really been supported well. And looking on a friends list and seeing a couple of your friends playing a game isn't an indication of success or revenue for that company. Because the greater whole of the community that purchases Xboxes clearly isn't playing Final Fantasy to the same clip that people are on PlayStation. So start buying some games, or else it's going to be this non-viable box, and all you're going to get is what Microsoft is able to get. And I don't want that to happen. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, think about subscribing to the channel, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.